Nicola Sturgeon today dismissed criticism over testing and care home blunders as hindsight, as it emerged Scots will still not be allowed to go more than 5 miles from home when the lockdown eases next week. The First Minister admitted that legitimate questions had to be asked, but complained that second-guessing the response of the government was dead easy, saying that she had done the best things at the time. Ms. Sturgeon defended the decision to discharge elderly patients from hospital to care homes early in the outbreak, despite fury that they were not tested and might have seeded a wave of infections. And she explained the failure to introduce mass testing by saying that screening people with no symptoms at the time was not considered to be scientifically or clinically effective. The defiant stance came after the SNP leader unveiled her own roadmap out of lockdown today, with households set to be allowed to mix in small numbers in their gardens from next week. As long as the outbreak remains under control, outdoor exercise and some sports will be permitted from May 28, with people allowed to sit in parks and sunbathe. However, there will be guidance against traveling long distances, with a limit of broadly 5 miles on how far people should go. There is also green light for households meeting up in their gardens, as long as only in small numbers and observing social distancing rules suggesting barbecues could be back on the agenda. By contrast, in England you can only mix with one person from another household, and it must be in a public place rather than in gardens, although travel is allowed for longer distances. Schools in Scotland will not start reopening until at least August 11, after the summer break north of the border. Ms. Sturgeon said it would be a blended model of part-time in school and part-time at home learning. Ms. Sturgeon has said the threat of a second wave of coronavirus is very real, but said she believed the crucial virus reproduction rate had been below 1 for 3 weeks, even it was slightly higher in Scotland than elsewhere in the UK. Ms. Sturgeon said, "One of the easiest things in the world right now is to apply hindsight that we didn't have at the time." Fending off criticism that care homes were abandoned by the authorities in Scotland, she said, "One of the things we knew then was that our hospitals were about to be filled up with coronavirus cases. So to have kept older people with no medical need to be in hospital where they were would have been putting them at enormous risk as well. So yes, you can apply hindsight, but we tried to do the best things at the time." On the issue of testing, she said, "Back then we didn't think that testing people without symptoms was scientifically and clinically an effective thing to do. There are still doubts about that, but we do it more now." Mr. Sturgeon insisted the scientific knowledge of this virus is changing and developing every day. "It is dead easy to say if you knew everything we know now then we might have done things differently. But we didn't. We had to act on the basis of the knowledge we had." Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe our channel to receive the latest news.